Who can tell me about last time?
Shit, you're asking way too much, mate.
I
All I know is we had dinner. I went to inside a family house to try to find bar, and
I helped get a stick and I paid for it. Does that count?
I could tell you everything that we did.
The last thing I remember from the video is Alfred got some kind of fireball whiskey. Like it
No, that
was
was
some
me.
kind of somebody got some kind of like scroll
I
or totem
wish.
of fireball, but it was fireball whiskey.
I
Yeah,
wish I
one
had that
fireball.
one.
Okay, well, after the fires were set in sunder and you guys fled with Gurky through a portal, you ended up in the study of Vangren Weddlestone, the cog of Cliffcrag. You had some brief discussions with him regarding what happened in Sunder just now. You were given a room to stay in the Valor Keep in Cliffcrag. You stayed there, and the next day you kind of just gathered yourselves in different aspects. Some of you went and cleaned yourselves up. Some of you investigated the book that Gurky was giving to Mr. Weddlestone that very day, neglecting your long rest in lieu of insight, and gained some knowledge because of that. From there, you went to a meeting with the Secret Peace and its higher ups, as far as you know. Many of them were called Secret Keepers, some Peacekeepers, some Scouts, and the at-large topics were discussed about the current events and what they were planning to do about it. After that, you were basically dismissed from the dinner, and Gurky led you out of the room. And as soon as you were out of sight of the whole of that slowly trickling out flock of people, Gurky rushed you down the hall to your room, telling you to get in the room, get in the room, get in the room. And that's where we cut last time. So before we begin, Ugbor will get a point of inspiration for his fighting in the battle of the contest of beasts, for his prowess there. Ugbor will also gain a short rest.
He's probably gonna need it.
So if you wanted to, if you have any need to, which you did receive a long rest after those events as well, so probably unneeded, but you did gain any benefits of a short rest that would affect you. So let me adjust our setting here.
Oh, also in the new title, Ball Crusher.
So Gurky is
I'll
rushing
take
you
it.
guys to the room that Bungren offered you guys to stay in, and he is saying under his breath progressively louder, "Get in the room, get in the room, get in the room." And as you guys begin to enter the room, he shuts and he shuts the door just as you all enter as you enter the room. What in Maglubiat's name were you thinking? Do you realize how close to death you came? Did any of you perceive the tension in the room at that very moment? He shuts and locks the door and then turns to Alfred. The only reason you have all your limbs now is because of politics and my friendship. Lasere chose to politely ignore you when you asked how Torn was trained. Do you even know what you asked? It's like her asking me in front of all you how I trained you to piss in a cup. I have seen her eviscerate a man for lesser insult, and you treated Torin, who is as intelligent as you or I. Then he stops for a second. At least me, like a lesser. And I'll have you remember that he was given a seat at the table, and two of you weren't. He bared his teeth to the cog of Cliffcrag yesterday, and you are nothing. Do you understand?
No, not really.
And
I just kind of cock my head at him.
At this, he turns to Ugbor. And you! You practically fell asleep at dinner! Did I see you drooling into your soup? One of you can't keep
Yeah.
your mouth shut, and the other can't keep his eyes open. He starts to take a second to gather his thoughts and breathe a little bit, and then he looks at the floor. It's late, and I already offered this once. I'm trying to have patience with you since you apparently need trained on the finer points of politics and politeness. Is there anything else I can clear up before you stick another foot in a mouth that's likely to bite it off?
I feel like it would be a good time to mention that it's probably a good idea if I don't have to talk to people.
Granted,
I
but
don't.
you could at least look at them while they give you food.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Was it at least good food?
It was pretty good. I had some soup and some salads.
You know, I remember sitting down, and I was so hungry.
Oh, I casted sleep on you. That's what happened. Gotcha.
Oh, it was so good food. So good. Very, one of my finest meals I've ever had, even after being crowned the champion of Falonkort. It was really good.
At least let me clear up one point for you. I'd hoped you'd have realized this on your own, but you haven't. So I'm going to say it with words. That direwolf is not a dumb beast. He's every bit as smart as us. Consider him basically as intelligent as a dragon. He cannot speak common, but he doesn't need to. He and the Sere have a connection, if you haven't noticed, and he doesn't need trained any more than you or I would. Well, apparently you would require such trainings.
Did you say
I-
direwolf?
Yeah, he's a very giant one.
Yeah.
I kind of reply, yeah, I will admit, my choice of words of training was my wrongdoing. But I did notice there was something special about that direwolf, and I was very curious about him. As as one magical being to another.
Gurki wanders off to his bed in the room and begins to shed his vest and pulls out of the vest pocket. Like he reaches down into the pocket, almost half of his arm goes in. He pulls out some folded clothes, and as he flaps them open, you can see it's a folded set of blue striped pajamas, complete with hat and everything. And he begins to dress into his nightwear as he keeps talking to you. It's a direwolf. He's much larger than any direwolf I've ever seen, and he's at least twice my age.
And how old are you?
I think I had my 47th last year.
Oh, no.
I'm like 3 times older than you, Gurky.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Oh, do I have a voice model? Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. Thank you.
So, are there any other questions about any of our companions, anybody you've met today or otherwise, that I can address? Please, let me help
Yeah. Yeah, any more surprises about our other acquaintances in that room? Anything else that we would need to be made aware of so we don't accidentally kill us all?
you. Well, I don't think there's anything too obvious besides something like that. I would imagine a giant direwolf sitting at the table with us for dinner would have been obvious enough, but apparently not. No, I don't plan on reading off my dossier on every man I have and that's of political import that I've come in contact with. But as we come into contact with people, I'll try to give you the briefing on some of them. Of the ones in that room, obviously they were all given titles from with the secret piece. You got their names and the titles during the dinner. Henniger is one that I have a personal run-ins with. We have a long history. He thinks I stole something from him. I totally did, but I tell him I didn't, and that's just how that lives. Longren's in charge of everything around this neighborhood. There are other secret keepers in charge of different parts of the continent for the secret piece. All secret keepers are on one level. There are different titles within the secret piece, and they have different duties based on that. I don't think there's anything dangerous there. Other than Vongren also being the cog of Cliffreg currently, and that causes a little bit of a political entanglement sometimes. But that's all I can think of at the moment.
Would now be a good time to tell you that I used to work, kinda, for Vongren?
Say again, I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Said, would now be a good time to tell you I used to kinda work with Vongren?
That would have been good to know. It would have been handy for sure, but it might not have mattered all the same.
Nah, I don't think I really did a lot of the secret peace stuff. We just kinda helped each other out.
You probably helped more than you realize.
Probably. I am pretty oblivious to a lot of things.
And another thing is that the Sarai and
Kindred
Torin are
spirits,
not
you.
members of the secret peace per se, but they are at least powerful political figures and friends of mine. So if you please, don't make my life difficult.
Gurky?
Yes?
So the person that the direwolf has a connection with, do they ever ride them?
I think we just need to get off the direwolf kick.
Yeah,
It is
that's
obviously offensive.
no, that's a valid question. I appreciate the asking. Yes, actually, she does ride the wolf. It is a very fast wolf, at least twice as fast as I've seen any of you move.
How big is she?
About the same size as, I don't know. I think Vorak here about 5 feet or so.
Cool.
Okay.
I have other questions, but maybe I should ask them.
Ask me first. It is. I would implore you, run the questions by me, and then if I deem it okay, I will allow you to ask them for further
Yeah.
explanation.
Okay.
What was that man made of metal?
His name is E7. I don't know much about him. He is not one I've had basically any run-ins with. I've heard his name mentioned, but I did not. I actually don't know much about him at all.
I mean, but
Apparently
what
he's a-
is...
Do you know his reputation? Is he known to be trustworthy or backstabby or?
He is the most secretive of the secret peace members. He is of the secret keeper level, meaning that he is on the same level as Vangren, and I imagine he knows more than he will ever tell. He is known to be a little helpful to basically everyone, and holds himself very politely.
But is he made of metal?
As far as I can tell, unless it's a full metal suit. But when
What
I've seen him
kind of
speak,
metal?
It also looks like metal inside of his mouth from the view that I've had. So I can only assume that he is,
Whoa.
for all intents and purposes, as anatomical as this fork. And he picks up a fork from his bedside table that he was using to eat his lunch earlier today, and then tosses it back down.
That is odd. Seems like something you'd fiddle with there, little dude.
Sorry?
A man made of metal? Isn't that cool?
Yes, I believe I've heard of these types. They're not so. I mean, yes, they're striking at first glance, but once you get to talking to them, they're quite similar to us.
Gurky
Oh.
milking at Ugbor. You said there was questions. Please tell me the questions you had on your mind so that I can at least screen them.
Oh no, I was like, where do the dire wolves come from?
When a mommy direwolf and a daddy direwolf love each other very much, or are
Yes.
exceedingly drunk,
Gurky
I
then looks
live
up,
big.
cuddles into
Shows
his
up.
bed and lays down. I'm here for this one.
there's some
I
sort
should-
of battle, and then you get a baby direwolf.
In the background behind fucking Flint, you just see me, having one hand with a circle and the other hand just going in.
So,
So,
actually, yeah, basically that. But this one came from the god Sylvanas, apparently. According to the Sere and some of the elves, it's what they believe. And I'm inclined to go with it because, he's a 90-year-old wolf.
Well, if I have a feeling you'll be more in contact with these sorts of folks than we are. If you can ever get a possible chance to at least relay my message to the lady that my sincere apology for
Oh, we'll be going
obviously.
for a visit. Don't worry. You'll be doing the delivery yourself.
Oh, that's good. I'd rather do it in person.
What was the direwolf's name, Gurky?
His name is Torin. You can address him as adequately as you can address the Sari or myself or any other person with a name. If you have a question about Torin or to Torin, you may address Torin, and the Sari will probably answer for him.
That second name.
Now, is the direwolf an automaton as well?
I severely doubt it, but that is a good question.
Probably more not for the lady or the wolf.
So him being a 90-year-old wolf, we shouldn't call him a good boy, right?
We all want to be a good
I
boy.
don't know, actually.
well, to be fair,
I would err on the side of
90 years old
not.
really isn't that old, just so you know, for a direwolf.
And
I somehow don't think the wolf is going to roll on its back and present you its belly to rub.
Dustin, can you spell that name, Viserion?
The female's name?
Yes.
No, Lasaire. Lasaere.
I can actually
Laseri, okay.
there you go.
I'm gonna, if you're good with, I'm gonna roll a history check on a standard direwolf's life, as I believe it's quite long. My character, I think, would know.
I'm sorry, say that again, I couldn't hear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it comes in a bit low.
I put it
Like-
too low, did
Like,
I?
really low, yeah.
Yeah, you sound like you're coming through a radio now.
Did we lose him?
I think he's playing with it. That's,
Is that any better?
yeah, that is
Yeah, it's
better.
Yeah, now that you gave me that, I'm trying to use it. I feel I would know, or potentially could know, how long the lifespan of a direwolf would be. Could I roll a history to make sure I'm correct?
Yeah, not history, but you can roll a nature check.
Nature. Ooh, I have a... What else? Nature. I have a 5.
intelligence still, yeah.
21.
21? Yeah, you know that generally speaking, wolves and even dire wolves can live anywhere from 15 to a maximum of 20 years.
It's just a standard wildlife style, right?
Mhm.
Not like a kind of wolf I'm thinking of. Not like a werewolf, but just a dire wolf.
Correct.
Okay.
And
Must
Robo
be a
Guy was
magic good
E4.
boy.
E7.
E7.
7.
D12. My bad.
Bingo.
Thanks. I was getting my notes caught up.
No problem. Gurki puts a cotton ball in his left ear and turns on his right side to look at you, holding a second cotton ball. Any last questions before I relieve myself? No? Okay. Good night.
Relieve yourself.
We have a lot of work in the morning. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. Slip of the tongue. And he stuffs the cotton ball in his ear and then rolls over and tries to go to sleep.
They make pants for that.
So what is our goal here? We heard their stories. We heard their social. We've pretty much figured out they don't know what's going on. So what is our goal being here at Cliffs Craig? Besides dropping off your package.
Honestly, I would say let's just relax a little bit and enjoy the peace we do have. I have a feeling we're gonna be very, very busy in the near future.
I'm here to buy a battery. That's my goal.
What the hell is a battery?
I was wondering the same exact thing. What the hell is a battery?
Thing with a lot of kinetic energy, electricity running through it. It's pretty cool.
Would it help us in a fight?
Depends on the purpose of the use.
I mean, if you plan on giving yourself an interesting time with it, I highly doubt that would work.
You could just throw it at him.
I mean, anything's a weapon if you throw it at them hard enough, right?
Yeah.
But anyhow, Munson, you wanna... Oh, wait, never mind. I forgot we don't have the book anymore.
Now, what were you after, Mr. Alfred?
I was gonna ask if you wanted to look through the rune book again, but I forgot we do not have the book anymore.
Oh, it's included in my head. But is there something you need to know about it?
Nah, just, maybe we can figure out, combine our knowings and whatnot of the book.
I
What
mean,
we were able
yes,
to glean.
the book has quite information. However, the book isn't going to help us in any way, shape, or form in the skills that we want to know. Just because I know what they can do or what the symbols they're designed to do or how they're created, we would not be able to create them ourselves. But it'd be nice to know what they are, so if we do run into them, we understand why they are there and how we could either avoid or get around them. So that's always a good sign.
Not true.
But I feel just sitting here isn't really what I want to do. I mean, this place is lovely and all, but, I just did lose all of my city. And if we have no plans to be here, any other reason to be here, I feel like we need to keep moving.
I agree with you, Munson. That city was all I ever knew. But we can't really do anything in the past. We can only do what we can do now and in the future. And right now, I'm thinking of going back to the bar.
That sounds like a pretty good idea.
I shall pass. I don't go to bars.
Come on, you can at least keep us company.
I'll let you go for me, and I'll let you. I'll have you have a drink for me. I'm going to search around and see if there's anything else around here that's entertaining or fascinating, as we are just kind of kicking it, as some would say.
Hey, Munson, roll a d20 for me real quick.
Okay. 11.
Okay, that's fine. I forgot you were technically still exhausted, so you would have had disadvantage on the check, but that's fine. It doesn't matter.
Well, you said after our short rest we weren't exhausted anymore.
Oh, right, yeah. I forgot you have short rest. Totally cool.
Correct.
Continue.
Yep, okay. And even if it was, it would be a 16 with disadvantage.
Well, do you want to come with me to the bar? We are first outing together.
Maybe I can interrogate somebody there.
Yeah. That actually sounds pretty good.
Awesome! To the bar! Would I have to remember which way the bar
Huzzah!
would be?
Well, it was pretty. It was a pretty long way there and back, but you did go there basically midday and spend a lot of time there. We'll say it shouldn't require any checks or anything. It'll take a while to get back there, like say 15 minutes of walking or so, but you can find your way back.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll
What time would it be, give or take? I mean, I know we are in a cavern, so it's not as easy to tell time.
The only thing you know is that you just ate dinner, and maybe by your internal clock you can tell you're not too far from getting sleepy.
Yeah, say I haven't slept in quite a while, so I think I will actually just lay down and get some sleep as we have no plans right now. Like I said, Alfred, please have a drink for me. I will appreciate it.
Oh, don't you worry, my friend. I will raise a toast in your favor.
And then before I go to bed, I will, next to my bed, I will cast my Hound Dog. So if anyone tries to interrupt me as I sleep, it'll be alarming.
Okay, duly noted. What's everybody else doing?
I will go to the bar.
and Alfred are going to
Ugbor's about to get sloshed, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ugor and Alfred are going to the tavern. Munson is sleeping. What are Flint and Pell doing?
I will be completing my infusions and getting a night's sleep.
We'll go get drunk.
Yeah.
We know.
Pell, are
to
you
be
coming with
mindful
us?
when we're
I'm
exhausted?
going to the bar. Hold on. Wait for me.
Okay.
I'm imagining this elderly elf scrambling to catch up to us.
This elf giant.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pell, Munson, and Pell, Ugor, and Alfred are going to the Smoking Spirits down the way of the streets inside the Velour Keep. Munson, having only had a short rest before and staying up all night to see the book, it doesn't take you long before you start to drift off into sleep. Now, Munson, as you drift to sleep, you find yourself reviewing some of the scenes that you're familiar with. You see a male and a female elf in a room with a tiled floor. They're working on stitching a banner. It has a gray field, and the female is stitching an orange fox of some sort onto the cloth. The color of the thread she's using is very close to her hair color, which is a deep auburn that stands out against her greenish blue eyes. These details are coming to you in greater detail than they have in the past. Several light blue marks that you recognize as runes run up her pale right arm and go from her hand and ending in a rune you recognize as Kinaz over her collarbone. The male stands over her. His face is slightly more acute than you were able to previously tell. It's pointed, but very strong features beneath the glossy black crown on his brow. Runes also run along his right arm, similar to those upon his daughter, or who you assume to be his daughter, given their body language and the way they are holding each other in the room. He smiles as he watches her work, a hand on the back of her chair as she sits at some sort of desk working on this cloth. The image fades, and another appears. The female from before buries something at the base of a large tree with twined bark. Her long auburn hair is partially covering her eyes as she works. When she finishes burying it, she traces something on the bark, and the roots of the tree shift, displacing dirt as they cover the spot in front of her. The emblem she drew is something of a figure eight, with a smaller horizontal figure eight with a circle in the center of it all. It glows green as the roots finish their work and her pale fingers rest against them before she rises to leave. This vision also dissipates from view before you can see much more of what's going on in that particular vision. The scene reestablishes again. It's this time in the battlefield that you're so familiar with. The horned figure is in the background, covered in shadow. There are fiery spells and arrows flying through the night. The dark is overpowering. You catch glimpses of the horned figure better over the crashing explosions and silent screams. It's a humanoid with a strong figure and glowing green eyes. Horns like that of a stag adorn the head, and your vision focuses on the eyes. They seem to stare back at you. You move speed into them with inhuman speed as your vision becomes different. You're seated in a large room, looking across it, ignoring out-of-focus objects. You see the flash of an elf with auburn hair enter through some sort of double doors with darkness behind her, just for a split second before the vision crashes. And as the sight turns to black, you hear a voice echoing, "She will come home." And then your consciousness relaxes back into deep sleep. So while this is happening, Pell and Alfred and Ugbor are traveling down the streets of the Valor Keep. I'll have you guys make a perception check for me.
And this is where we get ambushed.
Yeah, this is where we die.
No, I'm usually
Say
pretty
goodbye,
good.
friends.
Fucking 13.
A 13. You're rolling pretty hot.
Said perception.
Yes.
I got 12.
I got 16.
Ugbor, before anybody else at this time, smells the ale in the air. You hear
The what?
The ale, the alcohol in the air. You hear some sounds in the distance that sound very happy and inviting, and almost leading the way as if you were there before, Ugbor. You step ahead of Alfred and begin to jaunt merrily towards the Smoking Spirits Tavern.
Ah, come on, guys, let's go.
All right.
Well, you don't have to tell me, Charles.
So what are you guys doing after you enter the tavern? Beyond the fact you walk in and see that there is a lot of people there in this space, compared to what it was last time, Alfred, it's almost not like tripled in occupancy, but it is very full compared to what it was. There's still a lot of open space. This tavern has a centralized square fire pit where the fire is constantly stoked. There's more than embers in the middle. The air is not warm per se, but it's very inviting. Around this fire pit, just around the entire room, there is just tables, round, long, bar stools, chairs, and benches. The bar itself is a long stretch in this very open space. The wall's probably 100 feet in every direction from you, like from wall to wall, it's about 100 feet, but it's roughly a square space. In the back corner of the room, there is a long bar that stretches about 50 feet in one direction to the corner, and from that corner, 50 feet in the other direction. And there are people behind the bar, multiple people who are attending to many, many cups on the bar. What are you doing?
Is there enough spots open for 3 people on the bar?
Yeah, you can find enough spots for 3 people at the bar.
Alright. Come on, guys, follow me. I'll buy you all a drink. And I'll just go ahead and go up to one of the bars, preferably near if the bartender that served me earlier is there.
You don't see him at this time. You see several dwarves in the area, one halfling, but nobody you recognize.
I'll sit near one of the dwarven bartenders. What do you guys want to drink?
Aye, what you be having?
All of it.
No, I'm only buying one red of drink, not all.
Hey,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you want to
I
stiff,
guess
I can
whatever
make it
you
stiff.
What do you got?
I mean, and he gestures to the large wall of alcohol behind him, bottles stacked stair step style, where where it displays all the different things. Most of them are not labeled, but there's a variety of colors and of glasses and liquid inside them. I've got a little bit of everything.
Go ahead and surprise me. Pick which one you think would be good.
Fair enough, that's fun. Any flavors? How strong you want it?
I'll make it pretty strong, but not enough to knock me out in one hit.
All right. And the rest of you?
Oh no. Also surprise me.
Fair
Give me
enough.
just one sec.
No, easy.
Take your time. I know it's a large selection.
Yeah, Sugbor looks over the shelf.
Let's act like I've never drank a day in my life and I don't know anything about this.
Are there any berry wines?
Well, I can get you something imported from Runelore, probably. Something along that nature.
But none here right now.
No, I got them. I got them here. Well, I mean, they're imported, but I got them here.
Okay, yeah. Let's see what you got.
Whatever you get me, I want it to be 3 times stronger than whatever Ugbor gets.
All right, that's not too hard.
This elf is about to get fucked.
It takes him a minute to get his stuff together. He's back there mixing drinks and pouring some things for you. He brings the drinks to you, setting one down in front of Alfred first, and it's just a large glass full of amber liquid. Obor, he's giving you a little goblet of sorts that's full of red-colored liquid. And Pale, you are getting a short Scotch-style glass that is half full.
Sling it back. All in one go.
Okay.
I raise my glass to the bartender, and thanks, and I kind of raise a toast looking at the other two. I see fucking Pellinol just already fucking downed his. And, I kind of give a toast, to the poor sods who couldn't get out of Sundar. And then I go ahead and drink mine.
He'll like take a shot and like flip the glass upside down. May their
Ugbor
souls
follows.
rest in peace.
All right, Pale, it hit you pretty hard. Let's have you make a Constitution save for me.
Oh. Motherfucking dice.
Feels like there are consequences to my actions.
Yes, Munson is kind of like that.
I got a 6, but I'm gonna use lucky because I don't want to throw up. I look like a baby. $17 that time.
17. He catches you off guard, and you start to cough a little bit, stifle it, and force it down. Kind of grumble to yourself, and straighten up, and no other problems.
It was warm. It got very warm in here.
Okay.
So Ugbor, what did you do before you came to Sunder? Any family members?
Well, bud,
I realize I did that wrong. Well, bud. I guess I was a traveler, really. I didn't like where I grew up, so I left. Spent many years on the roads and found my way up towards the tent city. Met some of these fine fellows here.
Is that where
Been
you
traveling with them ever since.
met? That where you met Vorik and oh Sam?
Vorik and Sam. Only Vorik's with us these days. Oh, and there was also another person. Laszlo.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah,
I bet
he
was
was.
awesome.
I liked him.
Well, hopefully they still are alive to this day.
Yeah, I don't think I deleted his character sheet, so he should still be alive.
What is this character sheet?
But you, Alfred.
He's almost here with us.
I
Hello.
used to have an adopted father who taught me how to control my magic and taught me a little bit how to fight. I don't know who my real parents were.
How to control your magic, you say?
Not really out of control. It was certainly a surprise to me.
What kind of magics do you do? Is it like wild magics or?
No, it was just. Well, at first I almost burnt down the house when I accidentally burped after eating some spicy food. But soon after, my magic started to manifest inside me, where I was able to control fire. And learning to control that was the hard part. After I learned to control it, I was able to control my magic itself more better.
You hear
He
the
taught me.
bartender say, interrupting you, I have something to manifest inside me too. I don't hang out with those people anymore.
Aye. But he taught me everything I know about my magic and then some. But unfortunately, he was later murdered by a man I do not know.
Whoa.
Ever since then, I kind of continued on improving my magic and my combat ability in the ring, and I just stuck there ever since.
So did you go to school to learn your magic? Like that Munson guy? Because he's like really smart.
That nerd? Nah.
Yeah, he's really smart.
I didn't go to any school. All the magic I have is within me. It's just more of learning to control it and bring it out more than anything, and that comes more trial and error than any books it can give me.
Yeah, fire seems pretty hard to control.
It can be. It's also the most dangerous to learn, but if you can use it correctly, one of the more powerful elements of the spell. What about you, Pelino? You seem to. You have a long life. Surely you have some stories.
Yeah. I was just born to a little farming family out in the middle of nowhere in the Whistling Plains. And I just did that for like a really long time. I eventually went out to a church and, Saloon was like, hey, you're pretty neat. And I was like, hey, you're pretty neat too. And I just went around, I did priest work for a little bit. Kinda don't like preaching about it all that much, so usually I just tell people, hey, if you want to believe, that's cool for you, but if not, you don't really care. I used to be a soldier way back in the day.
Really, you a soldier? You can't even handle your drink.
Yeah. I didn't really kill a whole lot of people. I was in a medical unit.
That makes a lot more sense with you.
Yeah. I did watch that dragon die though, Dirkma.
I heard many things about him.
It was pretty fucked. Bartender,
Yeah, what's up?
another one please.
I'll also take a
And-
second round
Alright.
if you don't mind.
Yeah, if they get, yeah, I'll get them some this time.
Get you by the second round.
Yeah, I got you.
Alright,
Take
I'm
a
down for
shot of whatever Pelicans.
Sounds good. Round number 2 coming right up for you.
that. Thank you, my good man.
Make his stronger than mine this time.
Are you trying to tell this to him secretly?
No.
No,
Hey,
I can
make
hear it.
his make
I
his
support
stronger
it
than mine.
wholeheartedly. Ugbor is
Ugbor is shaking his head. In approval.
All right, you can do. And when he returns, Helena has another of what he had before. Alfred gets another very stout ale. And Ugbor has something similar to Pelinel's drink, but it's far darker. Same volume, curiously, but it is a darker liquid.
I raise my glass and thanks once more, and raise another toast to Pelinol for buying this round, and I down mine.
Actually toast and not immediately swig it.
yeah, I toast too.
Sorry, I didn't hear. What does the board do?
Ugbor raises.
Ugbor raises his glass.
Okay, are you drinking it all at once, or are you just sitting?
Yeah, he's gonna drink it all at once.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, well, go ahead and make a con save for me.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Just flat out no.
I refuse.
14. You taste it and immediately regret your decision. And you hold it down with a 14, but it tastes like you basically just swallowed gasoline. Or, as far as you know, lamp oil.
Ugh, it was awful.
It's strong, it does not taste good.
Hair on your chest. You like smack him on the back.
Come on, Ugbor. Giant Slayer and Ball Crusher. You can do that, but you can't keep your drink down.
Helena, as you sit there with your friends drinking and chatting about your histories various to this point, you overhear a couple of little tidbits of people sitting at the bar and otherwise talking around you. You hear comments about some sort of ore shortage and how it's causing delays in something or other. And you hear about a strange new ore that people are testing out, but it's having mixed results, and people seem to be having some ill effects because of it.
Guys, we got a really shitty ore problem. They're dwarves, that's like the only thing they do.
Really now. I was thinking about investing into some ore mining companies, but you know.
I don't even know what the hell ore's for.
Oh, no, they make it get turned into weapons and tools. That's about as much I know.
Huh.
Yeah, weapons. Weapons. Makes weapon and armor.
I have a feeling we're going to be needing quite a bit of that soon. But if these guys are having an ore problem, then maybe it wouldn't be too bad of an idea to maybe start a mining company for said ore to help them with said problem.
I think they're getting sick from it too. Did I hear that? Or am I just making that up?
Kind of ore makes people sick. I mean, I've heard weird stories of lead ore, but that's about it.
I don't know, maybe it's just weird rocks. Demon rocks.
How do you know this is happening again?
No, I can hear it. I can hear everything.
I'm gonna roll perception.
You in the Matrix?
I'm not gonna hear much of anything because of the alcohol, because I only got an 8.
Yeah, that is correct. You don't hear much. You hear some going on about somebody not liking their job because of the the delay in ore is causing them to get behind on something or other, and then you just tune everything out.
I kind of like turn in my stool. My attention is more on the lovely ladies that are walking by, and I kind of I lean back to the bartender. Hey bartender, I have a question for you. Are the
Only one
ladies
more.
here only is the ladies here only for decoration, or are they part of services too?
They're here as patrons, my friend, unless they're working here.
Oh, I meant the one, the maid outfit, so to speak.
Beg your pardon? I don't see who you're talking about.
Must be the beer. Yeah, never mind. Don't worry about it.
I take back what I said. Not one more. You get half of one more.
I'll take that half of one more, but make it pretty strong for me, my man.
All right. And he takes one more glass, fills it up halfway. And then you hear him put something in it, and then slide it to you, and then collect your other two glasses from in front of you.
I take a quick sniff, and then I just kind of down it. Why not?
It tastes like it's half water.
It's half water. God damn. I just gotta shrug and take what I got. But Bill, why don't you investigate some of these weird talking about this sickly rot that you keep hearing about? Maybe we can may have some relations to do with Sundar, maybe.
Hey, bartender, what's with the ore? Are they not getting it?
I've heard complaints. I think they might have dug too far in the underkeep in direction they didn't really intend to, and ran into some problems. I'm sure they'll deal with it in a couple of days or so.
What's the underkeep?
Oh, you guys not from around here?
Nah, I'm used to trees.
I'm used to
Grew
the
up near
desert and
Kitchenville.
fighting.
I mean, I tend not to judge people here on politics all the time. No, yeah, the underkeep is what we call the part under the Valor Keep, where the mines start. You know, when you first come in, there's the high road that leads up here to the uppers of the Valor Keep, where all the politics and the stacks and that kind of stuff is. Then you got the low road that goes down to the underkeep, and that's where the mines go in. They got a bunch of rail cars down there to go out to the different warehouses, and out of there is where everybody that works for the keep as a miner goes down and works in various tunnels, digging various types of ore. It's where all the ore and most of the goods come out of Cliff Creek through there.
Huh.
Like I said, they probably
So-
just dug into something that's too hot for them, and they'll get figured out.
Too hot for even the dwarves? Interesting.
Hey,
We
You
always
probably
find
have a
way.
lot of stories, barkeep.
Oh, I've been here for a while, my man.
See, these things kind of happen though from time to time.
Yeah, does this kind of stuff happen often? There are
Yeah,
often issues with mining operations.
I tell you, it's not one thing; it's another. I mean, if they don't run into a hard spot, they run into a dry spot. They might run into a piece of track that they got to repair because it's too old, because they've installed it wrong. Some of it's rusted. Something's always broken. It's always something.
What
So-
about the miners making sick from said rocks?
No, that I haven't heard of. They could be trying to substitute if they're trying to work around the issue down there. I've heard, we're not against workarounds. Stores we always find a way. But, sometimes you gotta work around. They've done that before once. They tried to use lead in exchange for some carbonized steel once to see how it was. It's too soft, of course. But they could be trying out something else that they're running into. Maybe they couldn't find enough. Find enough iron ore for right now, so trying something else to replace it or something like that. It's not uncommon. Just experiment at least.
Well, experimentation's always good. You never know what might actually be better than what you have.
A slightly different line of question. I don't imagine any orcs through here, do they?
Sorry, say one more time. I couldn't hear you.
Was I
It's
cutting
just
in
me.
and out, by the way?
He wasn't.
No,
You,
I think it's just
you were
me.
like a very, very tiny bit.
Heard you just.
You probably don't see that many orcs coming down through these woods, do you?
Oh no, not typically. No, I mean I've seen them
Have
before.
you seen them? You say you have seen them.
Yeah, I've seen an orc before. It's not like the most exotic thing in the world.
What are you?
Well, no, but I imagine that the orcs that do pass through here, they're probably orcs of some renown. I mean, most of the orcs back where I come from were farmers.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I've never seen any in the keep itself. When I'm out in town, I see people passing through, but a lot of people are just traveling, trying to find one way to get to somewhere else. Nobody crazy. Sometimes they're people who get cast out or aren't good enough for somebody or another, so they try and find somebody they're good enough for. In my typical findings.
In the bar, is it like mostly dwarves in here?
Yeah, it is primarily dwarves. You see some halflings, and there is one dragonborn amongst them, but he just seems to be keeping pace. He's not anything outstanding. He's a copper-toned skin dragonborn.
Excuse me, fella. I'm gonna go ahead and make my way over to him and just kind of quickly small talk about him. Or to him.
He's easy enough to find, and you can make your way over to him. There's a lot of people around him in his area. He's not being surrounded, but there's a lot of people going back and forth in that area, talking and chatting. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
What's up, my man? How you doing on this fine evening?
Hey, don't see much of us around here, do we? And he grabs your shoulder and starts shaking you. What are you doing here?
Just relaxing, drinking some beer, enjoying the nice view of some of the ladies here, you know what I mean?
If you can find one, yeah, good luck on you. You getting off shift?
No, just passing through town and whatnot. Making my way down from Sunder up to wherever the travels take me.
Look at this man. He's talking to the people around him now. He's not even working. Get out of here. And he gives you a little shove and starts to last. And wastes his arm to kill you back over because he probably knocked you over a few feet. We're just messing, man. We all got off. You're having a bit of a rough day. This helps. Am I right?
Yeah, I understand you, man. If you don't mind me asking, what do you guys do?
One of my crew. We're in particulars. That'd be the finer, harder to find things. Cadmium, titanium, dyeing ores like copper and stuff like that. That's kind of our specialty.
Oh, I've actually been hearing some hush and talk about certain ores making people sick. You know anything about that?
Yeah, we've been tasked with getting a little bit extra on our particulars. We found one we're not really keen on, but it's not useful for anything else. We've taken our reserves of it and lumped it together and sent it off for evaluation. I heard the guys that worked on that have had some ill effects, but I don't know what's going on really. It's backside of me.
Can you describe what it looked like? I'm very interested on this.
It is kind of green. It's got like a green sheen to it, but it's silver. Imagine silver, but if it was had a ghost of a green color on it.
So it's like a copper, but a shiny copper.
Yeah, kind of. I guess you could say that. Yeah. If it feels kind of tingly when you hold it, I wouldn't recommend it.
Interesting. Sounds like some definitely sounds like some magical rock or something that's having ill effect on the population. But you guys stay safe, all right, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Hey, enjoy your stay, friend. Hey, keep clear of that. You know, there's a. I heard tell there's a giant wolf in the keep. I don't believe it, but keep your eyes peeled. You never know. And he takes another big drink of it.
I kind of give him a knowing smile, and I was like, all right, I'll keep an eye out for such a majestic animal.
All right. And he goes back to talking to his friends and joking around.
Yep, I go back to Falonkort and I tell them what I've managed to glean about the ore.
Huh, glowing rock. It's fucking weird.
Really,
Would I happen to have any sort of maybe knowledge of this from my days back with Master?
No, nothing's in the teachings that you had dealt with anything like this.
But nothing like I might have skimmed into a recipe book or something for magic or anything?
Let's say you make a history check for me.
Okay. $12.
12? No, you've read about several magical items, most of them crystals and gems and things. You don't recall any items of this description.
Excuse me. His beer. Yeah, it seems some greenish, silvery, glowing rock that we keep. So if we happen to find any in our travel, it'd be best to either stay clear or maybe even try to get a sample of it our own.
Maybe we can get Munson to look at it or something. He's pretty smart.
Munson is pretty quick.
I don't know if it makes people sick. Maybe we just shouldn't fuck with it.
Maybe we should eat it. Become
As much as I like eating random things, I don't think that would be a good idea.
Okay, how much longer do you guys plan to stay in the bar?
Probably not much longer.
Yeah, not much longer. I would say probably if you guys want another drink, I'll buy your guys' last drink and pay the bartender what I'm due.
The boy's good, actually. He doesn't want any more.
What about you, Belle?
I mean, we could drink one more, but I'm just gonna cast a list of restoration as soon as we get done here, so we all be sober anyway.
Alright.
I mean, if that's the game.
Shit, just get the strongest thing.
rack 'em up.
I think personally the bartender cut me off, unfortunately. But look, boy, go ahead. You have the strongest beer that you got. I dare you.
Help if we're done here. Bill's just gonna like pat everybody and just cast list of restoration on them.
Alright. I asked the bartender how much do I owe him for all the drinks.
If you're paying all told, be he does some quick math in his head. 2 gold, 2 silver.
2 gold, 2 silver. I go ahead and give him 2 gold, 2 of the silver, and I give him 3 gold, 1 as a tip.
Much appreciated. You guys have a good evening.
You too, my good man.
You guys eventually find your way out of the smoking spirits and back towards your room that was granted you by Mr. Wellstone. Going inside, you find Munson and Gurky fast asleep. Flint, are you still working on your infusions?
Yes, and I'll have a list of them for you in a moment.
Okay. What does it look like as you work on your infusions? What do the guys see when they enter the room?
Controlled chaos.
So is it
Shit on the
do you got
floor,
like a
there's-
bunch of beakers or?
The shit's just flying in the room.
Yes.
It's like that like stock cartoon effect where like a bunch of movement and dust is like flying around, but it's like staying in one spot.
Yeah.
Or you just see a bunch of brooms and mops just sweeping up after whatever messes was made.
Mickey Mouse in the corner.
Yeah.
Perhaps that would be your apprentice.
He's got like a welding mask on. Somehow has a welder.
I kind of take a double look at him. But other than that, I just kind of go to my little bed that I still haven't slept in yet.
Okay, so Alfred is going to his bed. Ugbor and Pill.
Yeah, lay down, even though I'm way too big.
Go ahead.
Ugbor's gonna do some work aerobics before bed. Gotta stay in shape, man.
Okay.
He spends like a half hour doing this.
Okay. Pale, surprisingly, only about half calf down is out of the bed. The bed is almost large enough for you.
Oh, sweet. My feet gonna dangle a little bit, but it's not gonna be too bad. He's gonna like take off all his armor and everything because it takes forever. And he's gonna get his little holy symbol thing. He's gonna like place it down. He's gonna like look up and try to find which way he thinks the moon would be. And he's like, oh fuck it, and he just says a little prayer and goes to bed.
Fair enough. Okay. So, with basically everyone in bed, Flint eventually will follow, I assume. And
Yes.
you all have a more or less good night's rest. You wake up an unknown amount of hours later, and when you wake up, Gurky is in the kitchen brewing tea. You actually wake up to the sound of whistling from the kettle that he has on top of the stove that he has fire inside of.
I have all my spell slots back now in case we get into trouble.
Yeah, and all of you can benefit from the effect of a long rest.
Oh man, I needed it. I was so beat up.
Take off my temporary AP.
After some of you start to wake up, he acknowledges that and... Morning.
What are you making?
Morning.
Making a small cup of bitter tea.
I'll have some bitter tea.
Thank you, Papa Gurky. Ugh.
And he eventually, after just a few moments of getting everything prepared, brings over a couple cups as he comes to sit down. Gather your things. We have a big day ahead of us. A
What
lot
are we
of
doing?
things to do.
Oh, can I get a little bit? I'm over here preparing spells.
Sure.
Nope. On we
Is
go. All right,
anybody-
so we go outside.
Anybody think we're gonna die today?
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure I already did.
You
Should I,
live
like-
every day a lot wiser and a lot better if you think that every day is going to be your last.
Okay, I'm gonna specifically save one spell slot to bring somebody back to life. So
It's always best to have such an
please
occasion.
don't die, somebody.
Take your time, but know that we are leaving this room for good. We've outstayed our welcome, and we are moving on. I have some other business to take care of in town, but we have first to go and try to locate Lysere and Torin if they're still within the keep, and Alfred can have his say with them. Before we leave and get too far away from our politics, we can mend our ways and then move on. It is never a bad idea to have friends.
Yeah, I'll go with it. I definitely am not going to ask her question.
Ugbor smiles ear to ear.
Gurki is also preparing his things and trying to get stuff packed up when suddenly you guys hear something at the door. It's not really a knock, more of a scratch.
Okay, I go ahead and open the door. Why not?
When the door opens, you are once again met with the giant black snout and amber eyes. Beside Torin stands Lysere, holding herself with an air of regality.
I kind of shock back, just suddenly seeing a giant black direwolf this early in the morning. I was not expecting a giant.
Gurki turns toward her. He is mostly dressed. He slides on a vest as casually as he can. I wasn't aware you knew where we were. How are you both? Torin tracked you. It wasn't hard. Told you he was a good hunter.
At that point, I kind of raised my arms and just to make sure I wasn't stinking.
At her comment, Torin kind of gives a cock of his head towards Gurki and what you can only describe as a smirk on a wolf. Well, we were actually planning to seek you out regardless, to discuss last night's events. At this, Torin scans your group, looking around the room, and then stops on Alfred. We have other business to discuss, but by all means, may we come in? It's been my experience that you should never invite a fae into your home, but sure, he said with a smile. Before Lysere moves, Torin enters the room first, and Lysere follows closely behind, stopping just short of the door. And she faces the group while Torin circles the room in its perimeter, paying close attention to everything he passes before circling back slowly to stand at Lysere's left. And as he walks by everyone, but not close enough that you would be touching unless you moved. What are you guys doing?
What? One more time. What was that last bit? The last sentence.
The giant direwolf whose shoulder is at your head's height, except for Pell. Pell is basically at the wolf's eye level. But as this giant creature moves through the room, looking at you guys in your entirety, yourselves, your beds, everything in the room, looking up at the ceiling, down at the floor, making a circle around the room. He does this elegantly so that he doesn't touch you or anything else in the room unless you were to move.
Ugbor watches him, I guess. He doesn't move though.
Okay. As
I kind of let him does his circle too.
okay.
Wave at him. Be like, hello.
Passing you, Pell, Torin turns to you and looks at you and then gives a nod and then keeps walking.
Nice morning, isn't it?
Finishing his circle and going back to Lysere, staying on her left. Lysere comes in, she then shuts the door behind her. Torin says your room is clear. We may speak freely. That's, I should have thought of that, but it's been a bit hysterical recently. Thank you for checking. Now, firstly, I believe my contractor, Mr. Whipplebottom, has something he would like to say. And all three of them turn to look at Alfred.
Yes, I kind of, get in front of Torn a little bit, and not like close, but enough to keep the distance, but kind of let him know that I am indeed speaking to both him and sorry, wasn't it?
Let's
Yeah, you're owning up to it. You're stepping out in
Sorry.
front, taking
Yeah.
responsibility.
I kind of I get down on one knee and kind of bow my head towards both of them, and I simply say, my words from last night, I am aware may have offended both of you. The choice of words I've used were obviously wrong, and I am sincerely apologize to what I've said. I am aware that both of you are intelligent in your ways. I was just really curious about, uh, as a magic user, I was just very curious about the magic bomb that you guys so clearly have, if any. Um, sorry.
Yes, we've spent some time talking to Gurky, learning about the situation you guys have. I find it really interesting. I have wondered where dire wolves live. Would it be possible for me to take such a companion?
First off, Ugor, you're breaking up just a little bit, but I did hear you. At the end of your statement, Torin looks between Ugbor and Alfred and raises a paw off the ground slightly before tamping it back down. Torin says he can forgive it once, but do not let it happen again. We appreciate your words, and I second his thoughts. Do not let it happen again. We can answer some questions, but no, to our knowledge, there are none like Torin. And you detect a subtle, I guess Pell would be the one to detect this with your passive perception. You detect a subtle increase of the glowing in the runes that are on her skin. Just a little.
I thank both Torin and sorry for forgiving me, and then I back away into the circle once more.
With that very well said, what was the business you had mentioned, Miss Bainbreeze? And Lyseri and Torin share a look for a second, and then look back to Gurky both, and Lyseri speaks. The night you arrived in Cliff Crag, you mentioned to Vongren a book he'd asked you to acquire. Obviously, we and Vongren are having a difference of opinion at the moment. But what you gave him seems to be related to the current issues that would impact us all. Would you care to share with us what that book was about? I, being the owner of the business of which it was purchased, am not at liberty to disclose my client's personal information, but my contractors were under no such obligation if they had information to share.
You talk about that book. I think they read it all night. I didn't read it at all.
No, talking about the one that you had delivered to that one guy yesterday.
I can only imagine. Did you have a chance to read it? You said.
Yes, I did. Munson and I, we studied it all night long, trying to give you any useful magical information that might lead us in our adventure.
What was the book's contents?
It was a bunch of runes and various translations, some that were very old, even the draconic standards.
Lysaria and Torin immediately look towards each other and then quickly back to you. Runes? What type of runes? Do they look like this? And she holds out her arm, and you see on the backside of her arm, and there's actually a couple going up her arm. A total of 3, and then a fourth one you see up near her neck. Do any of these look familiar to you?
Yes, I think I read them in the book. I think they were runes of protection, if I remember correctly. There were also very many other types of runes. It's something about water and fire.
I'm trying to send you the images, but they're being weird.
I still have. I'm assuming the image from that's in the runes that are in her little picture that you sent us thing, right?
Basically, the ones that you see on her body are. Oh, there we go. There's the first one.
Yeah, I think that is the rune of protection.
And there we go. There's all 4 that you see.
Give me a second, trying to find the actual pages you sent me.
Hey, DM on the DL.
Mm-hmm.
So these are just Norse runes, huh?
I mean, you don't know.
Alright, so I tell her the first one is the Algiz, or the Rune of Protection. Wrong.
And what does that one mean? According to this book.
It was considered the most powerful rune. Represents protection, shield, or protective urge to shelter yourself or others. It symbolizes the warding off of evil as a shield or guardian. It imparts a connection with the gods, awakening in higher life.
You seem to have remembered a lot of this book.
Yes, we've studied it quite intensively once in fact, we stayed up all night reading it.
She nods for a second. Yeah, that makes sense.
The other one, wait a second. This is a great time to have fucking 2 screens. The other one is Insul, communication. And if I may be so bold, but judging from the runes both on you and Torin, this might be in relation to some sort of divine intervention of sort. It might be why you guys bond so well with one another.
Okay, and the others?
Shh. The H is Ingles, male fertility, which is an interesting one.
Oh, hey, by the way, look at the index for the runes. I'm sorry, I just realized the page is messed up a little bit. Like the symbols didn't correlate to the text beside them. Use the index to find the name of the rune and go from there.
Okay, so not like male fertility, just the earth, I'm guessing? Like that one you're meaning?
The it should be Hagawaz, I believe.
Oh, Ingus, okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'm like male fertility. Oh, something's not right here.
Yeah.
God, just had
Yeah,
images. I did not want it.
just to clear it up, it's Hagalaz, Ansus, Kinaz, and Hagalaz.
Okay. But Inga's just kind of have common virtues of common sense and strength and familial love. Uh, but it also kind of predicts a time of relief without anxiety.
That doesn't sound right. Well, well, thank you. That was very informative. How useful or correct, I don't know. But
Hey, maybe whenever Munson wakes up, he could tell you more. But he
The
seems
other one,
tired.
the other one that you were showing me was a canal, if I remember. This one you might have to ask Winston about. It has a lot to do with visions and revelations and knowledge.
as you
Although it
guys are,
does also deal with fire too, and from what I've seen with Sundar, a lot of fire.
you see Osari nod, and as you do this, Torin actually goes over to Munson and starts nosing him.
How may I assist you?
We were told that you had more information, perhaps.
What is the information you seek?
Do you agree with his interpretation of these runes?
Most of them, yes. The last one, Kinaz of Fire. That's the only one he did not represent to you. I mean, each one has its own meaning, its own understanding, but from what he's trying to tell you is each rune has its own powers, some kind of gift, sometimes curse, sometimes it gives you blessing, sometimes they give you diseases and stability. It just depends on what you have. According to the four symbols, yeah, those three are correct. The fourth one, that is Kanaz, it is fire. It represents all to do with your mind, with your ability to have visions, inspiration to others, the technical ability of having that vision. But it also deals with the idea of fire, the vital fire, which is the fire of life, the harnessing, the ability to harness the power of the fire, transformation, also regeneration, ability to heal or produce it. It's quite an amazing rune to have. But it creates or shapes one's own reality as well, with the power of it. So, I mean, you can play with it as you like. I don't know who gave it to you or how you got it, but it is one of the runes that are quite vital to who you are, of the creation of the Druidic runes that were given.
Well, we've had these for a while, and she takes her hair, her auburn hair, and then covers up the rune that's on her right side collarbone. It's been 3 years, I think.
Do you remember who gave them to you? Were you just asleep one night, woke up and they appeared? Was it more of a gift? Was it more of a curse? Was it somebody you might have known personally?
It was a rock, a very mean rock.
This rock green, shiny by chance.
No, in all seriousness, it was a stone. It was covered in these runes, and we went to investigate it after dealing with something. And, well, after our investigation, we suddenly were imbued with these symbols.
Is this when you and Torn met, or before?
Oh no, this is far after we.
Okay.
Me and Torn have been together for all Torn's life. This just happened a couple of years ago.
Okay, I didn't know if the runes connected you two somehow or not.
I mean, we were both there when it happened, and these runes you say were bestowed upon us, and they've give us new powers and abilities and strengthen us in certain ways, but we've always been connected in other ways.
Well, the question I would have then, did all of you get your own set of runes, or when you touched it, did it only transform to you?
Both of us were investigating at the same time, but they are the same symbols as far as I'm aware. Another thing, this, and she pulls out a bow from behind her, and it's a long bow that almost is not quite as tall as she is, but it's very long, and it's made of carved wood, and she holds the bow string facing Munson. What about this one? Did you recognize this one? And she.
I'll identify it.
You're going to identify the bow?
The bow itself. I'm gonna hold it and identify it real quick.
Okay.
I want to also investigate or do an Arcana check to see if there's anything magical about it.
Okay, so Alfred, roll Arcana.
Not one, nothing.
Okay. Munson, as you are holding, as you are looking at the bow and casting the spell, what are the components of the spell? Is it verbal?
It's basically verbal material, but the material is just stuff that's created that I already have within the body of me, and it's semantic. So yeah, pretty much everything. Basically, the way I would identify it is as I grab it, my eyes would flash into like a whitish blue, and then my blue skin would kind of pale into a white-blue mixture, and then it would kind of go through my body to my hand, and then as it grabs the bow, it would basically harness the power of what the item is to see if it has any magic identities or anything I could understand.
I see this as soon as you touch the bow, and I'm like, that is one dangerous bow.
Okay, as you identify the bow, it is different than anything you have ever seen before with regard to the orientation of magics. It is imbued with many magics, the most recent of which being some sort of thunder damage, and it possesses a number of other qualities, such as it produces its own arrows when knocked. But also, it's very, very old. It's passed through many hands, and as you try to delve deeper into what this bow is about, your vision is blocked. Actually, you're able to see the bow's potential and what it currently does, but there's some aspects of this bow that are not being identified to you.
Can I Arcana check to see if I can push through a little farther besides using the spell itself?
Yeah, sure, you can do that.
Kind of hope to give it a little bonus kick. That is a +9. That's a 27.
Okay, 27. Looking at the bow itself, it has many, many engravings on it. One of which I've put in the chat for you. That one is just above the handle, at the above the grip on the bow, but around that there are many symbols. Some artistic, more so than others. Some are symbols of things. Some are actually initials. And it seems that as the bow has passed from your previous identify, as the bow has passed through many people, it would appear that at least many people have been carving on this bow as they've had it in their possession.
So it'd be just different signatures of basically different users.
As far as you can tell, possibly.
Okay.
You're not sure. You're not sure what effect that has on the magics of the bow, or how that would translate into anything meaningful to you. But you can at least tell that much.
I'll look at her and be like, "Have you used it? Have you done anything with it yet?"
I use it often to hunt and protect. But the symbol here, just quickly, you mentioned the runes. Did this appear in the book? This one here. She points to the one right above the handle.
I haven't seen a picture.
It's in the group, in general group. Oh.
Ah, there it is.
Okay, sorry. I thought I sent it.
As I see that, I let go, kind of hand her the bow back, and be like, I go silent.
What? Yes? No? Is that bad? Is that bad? Is it good? And she turns to Alfred. Did you see it? What is this?
I do not know. I don't see anything, but judging from the reaction Munson's having regarding the touching the thing, I don't think it's a good thing.
I don't mean to startle you and such. It's a design I've seen in my dream. I had last night actually. It's basically it's not what I wanted to see as early as I dreamt it. As I dreamed this symbol was in a tree out in the battle I explained to you yesterday. A woodland creature had walked through opened a door with it. In that opening, which seemed to have been, I'm guessing, from the bow. Maybe couldn't really tell if you were good or bad when it came to the conclusion, but that's quite a mighty symbol.
Torin is looking at you very intently, and his mouth is starting to open a little bit. And Lysari is looking at the bow. This was my father's bow. I've had it since I was grown. To my knowledge, many of my ancestors have added their own marks, and this one here is mine. This one, to my knowledge, is the oldest one on the bow. I don't know what it means.
Well, I can only go so far and see so many before the power of your ancestry's weapon will block my ability to understand it. But I mean, in my profession, which isn't much to this level, this is quite a godly blessed bow. Keep it with you. I would say it will return tenfold in your favor.
I see. Well, thank you for your insight. I deeply appreciate it. We deeply appreciate it.
That made me so bold. With all these events happening, with you getting your runes from a rock 3 years prior, the book, the visions, and Sunder, I have a feeling all of these are connected somehow or one way or another.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're probably right.
I'm not sure. I'm still putting it all together, just like you are, Alfred.
I would keep good clear on those visions. They might help us out in the future, especially if you've been seeing the stags the same way we've been saw Sunder.
I see him every day in my sleep.
I do not envy you, my friend.
Why do you think I put a hound dog by my bed every night?
You have seen no such hound dog.
Do I?
Telling Alfred that he has seen no such hound dog.
Yeah, I don't see the hound dog, but I know from the fight that you have such control of a hound dog, whether I see it or not. I don't even know if Torton can even see it. He doesn't seem to be bothered if he does.
It's not here right now. I only create it when I need it.
Okay. But yes, I think it's all connected, whether we want it to or not. The more we get information about this, the more I'm confident that this is a threat that will keep growing and growing until we deal with it. We may even need to get the Empire involved if that's the case.
Hate the thought. Well, Gurki, what are your plans for the future given the current climate? Well, we are running some errands, after which I plan to take a vacation somewhere far, far away from here. I see. Is there anything you need our help with? No, I think I have all the help I require at this time, but I will let you know if that changes, or if there's anything requiring your attention. What are your plans? We, for the time being, plan to return home to the Rowanwood. There is much for us to share with our family and our people, and his plans to be based on that information. The Succinct will also be gathering soon, and we'll need to make plans for that. And it's sure to be interesting if you'd wish to be nearby. And you see her give him a friendly smirk and a raised eyebrow. I might drop by, should my specific schedule suit. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out something. Since you are planning to leave, perhaps it would be beneficial for us to stay in contact. And from the box that all of you are familiar with, he opens up and pulls one of the 4 remaining emerald rings out. You'll forgive me, Torin, but I don't have one in your size. Losari kind of chuckles just a little bit. You know, we don't need 2 of us for us to hear you, old friend. The 2 of them turn towards the door. We'll be in touch. Goodbye, Gurki. And the rest of you. And
I kind of say great speed and safe travels in this trying time.
Torin nods to Gurki and then to Alfred.
Hell just waves. See ya.
Goodbye, Losari, Torin.
I stare at the bow as she leaves.
So they exit, and then behind her, the door closes. Gurki goes over to lock the door, and there's a hanging moment of silence.
Well, that was a rude way to wake me up.
Well, I wouldn't say rude, or maybe a couple months ago, but it was definitely a surprise.
I'll be going into town to take care of some business.
What do you want?
Here, take this. And
Such a
Gurki,
neat cat.
How
Gurki
far into town are you going?
Gurki will reach into his pocket and pull out a small pouch and plop it on the table. I have some other small politics to take care of. That's 50 gold in advance for you. Treat yourselves to some nice food and save enough to get us a room somewhere in town. The exhausters are welcome in this one, and I don't really care where. Just make sure my room is separate and use your rings to let me know when you have something. I need some air. When we get back together, we can discuss our next actions. We have at least our next point is to deal with Mr. Stahl's battery that he ordered from me. I need to fulfill that contract first, and then we can address our other issues as needed and determine our current path. But for now, I'm gonna go for a walk.
Alright, we'll see you in a bit, Gurki.
So he gave 50 gold for each of us.
He gave you 50 gold in total.
Oh, in total. Gotcha.
Yeah, 1 pouch.
Wow. Alright.
Do I remember if the smoking, what is that tavern? The smoking spirits?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Was it also a inn as well? Like, were we able to rent rooms?
You didn't see anything to indicate as much, but you didn't ask.
I'll probably stop by there and see. It seemed well enough to maybe have a few rooms if needed. So, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to ask about this thing for our rooms for later.
So he locked the door and then left, or he unlocked it, left, and then shut the door.
Gurki is gathering the last of his things as he puts some things into his deep pockets of his very thin vest. Um, he turns back and nods to you guys, and then leaves the door and shuts it behind him.
Alright, now that we're alone. Why did they approach us? Do I know?
Well, obviously. About the book.
Yeah, but they didn't know we read the book. So, how did they know?
I don't think they knew we read it. We just knew that we had it in our
How did
possession.
they know? How did they know I read the book?
Did they know? I know I said, I told them that we read the book. They just asked if we read the book.
They
Sometimes it's good to
just
hold secret.
so it's clear, they came and asked Gurki first, and Gurki proposed the information.
Okay.
I told them that you and I both read the book quite extensively that night.
Okay. Well, let
I
that be
gave it a
that.
good listen.
You did. Did you learn anything?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling actually. So, new tavern location area. He thinks. Anyone else want to do anything today? I'm tired of sitting around, really doing nothing, and
I've been sitting
kinda
along too.
explore more.
I'm gonna, try and see about getting a few exercise in. I've been sitting on my ass and drink a little bit too much. Get a little out of shape, but in the meantime, I will go back to that bar that Egbor and Helena went to last night and inquire about some more. It was a very lovely place. So,
So, my question again, Alfred. When you went to the bar, tavern, the place last night, did you learn anything? Any issues? Any problems in this town? Anything that sounds kind of odd?
oh yes, yes, Helena came to Helena first, but there seem to be some ore problems going on in the town, and more odd is some new mysterious rock is making some of the miners ill. Uh, managed to talk to one of my Dragonborn kin and managed to discern the rock in detail. It seemed to be like a silvery, greenish, glowing rock of sorts. Weren't quite sure what it
So, did they tell you location or where it could be
was.
or anything like that?
All we know is it's probably going to be somewhere in what they call the Underdark, the Underkeep, something
Oh,
like that. Essentially the mine.
Paladin,
Yeah,
where
it
was
was
this?
the
What happened?
Underdark.
Yeah, no, it was the Underkeep. Because it was under the keep.
Under keep. That's
I don't know where they take the ones that they mined over to, but I have a feeling if you guys want to venture in search of that, it's probably going to take a little bit.
Well, it's daytime. I'd say maybe get some food, and afterwards, maybe go back to your tavern bar and let's talk to them about this or shrine runic issue, and maybe while we have time today, maybe we could earn a little extra gold on the side while waiting for Mr. Man to finish what he's doing.
Well, we can go back to the tavern now. I'm sure they sell food just as good as wine. And I'm sure the rooms as well.
Yeah, we have to see if they have any rooms anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Well,
I gotta get my mind on something else, so maybe do a little side event while waiting to make our next appearance. That sounds like
Yes.
a wonderful idea to me. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm feeling it.
I don't know. Maybe there's
Gilmore's
some
always down.
fighting rooms. It'd be nice to enter a new fighting ring.
What about you, Mr. Flint? Is this boggle your mind? Something that you might be interested in, my friend?
Of course, I never mind stretching my legs, trying to keep up with a lot of you.
Oh. You'll get there.
Yeah, it looks like you have to walk a little bit more, but I'll just take big steps.
Much
Eventually,
obliged.
buddy, you'll finish growing. Be like the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works.
Oh,
Oh.
that's lame.
Well, I think that's where we shall head.
If you want, sit on hold.
Do it. You're breaking up.
If you want, you can sit on my shoulder.
No, that's quite all right. Happy to leg it.
Oh, Flint, how did your imbued transformation go last night?
Outstandingly.
As you
Look
see,
at these cool carvings. I made lightning bolts,
well,
skulls, and swords.
Oh, that's wicked.
oh, I wish I could have stayed up and saw that, but I was a wee bit tired last night. I didn't say anything in my sleep, did I, Flint?
Hmm.
Not that I recall. But I'm a pretty
Nothing to
heavy
write the
sleeper.
magazines about.
I mean, you could probably hit me over the back of the head while I was asleep.
Yeah, that's a heavy sleeper there, Ugbor.
So should we make our way then?
Yeah, I'm packed up. I'm ready to go.
Alright. To the spirit, smoking spirit.
Okay. You guys exit the room and head towards the smoking spirit to kind of discern what is in the rest of the city of Cliffcrag and in the Valor Keep. And right there, we're going to take just a short 5-minute break real quick.
Ooh.
BRB.
So, what do you want in these? What's bothering me? What do you want? No, you're not going out there. You want food? What do you want? Fucking cat.
Blank,
think,
stop talking to your mom like that.
I mean, I know my mother has a pussy, but come on now.
Dude.
Wrong button.
At least I hope so. I don't know. No, you're not going out there.
Been drinking a lot more IPAs lately.
You've been drinking more.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I didn't used to like them, and now I think they might be one of my favorites. I don't know if that's... I don't know what that means, but I like them.
Just every 7 years your taste buds change.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, every 7 years your body can go through a change. You may not change every flavor in your mind, but some flavors you may have hated years and years ago. There's a slight change in your taste palette every 7 years.
It's due to
Figure.
the sound in the dying
yeah,
off.
used
Yeah,
to-
because your taste buds literally die and then they grow back.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Had no idea.
Yeah. Yep, every 7 years.
That's
Yeah,
why
the worst part of beer for me used to be the hops, and that's what makes IPAs so great. The hops.
Yeah, I used to hate them. I still hate them. But I do still like my hard A's if I ever get into those. I'm out of my tequila right now, but that's kind of sad.
I earlier this year I stocked a cabinet worth of alcohol for the first time actually, and my wife, for our anniversary, she got me this nice little set of barkeeping stuff. I got like 3 books, a barkeeping mat. I got a 210 shaker. I think they call it a Boston style shaker.
Oh,
It's not the cup and the lid. It's 2 cups essentially.
okay.
But it's
And now it's all
and like
gone.
$600 worth of liquor.
Damn.
That's
I,
I've
that's
been
like
mixing all
that's
kinds
like
of
20
sours.
bottles. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
my a friend of mine just got back from on a cruise ship from like, the Caribbean down to like South America and whatnot, and he brought me back
Oh yeah.
the Loco de Cafe or something like that, something like liquor de cafe or something like that. And it's in like this awesome like cardboard dish style bottle. And that's some good ass rum.
Grab that IPA before Dustin gets back.
Oh, I've been back, brother.
Oh crap! All right, I'll be right back.
But yeah, it's turning out that unless we get ambushed in the street on the way to the bar, I don't think we're gonna have much combat this session either. All warmed up.
I have returned.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm going to send one more piece of art real quick just for clarification on the positions of those rings and everything.
So I bought that one for my brother-in-law's birthday.
I'm unfamiliar.
It's like a $65 bottle of malt whiskey. Not that it's like a I think it's fifth. Yeah. It's pretty good actually. Really strong, goes down nice. Um it's something that's more of a sipping whiskey, not a mixer.
I
Yeah, I
like
like.
those kind of whiskeys or
Yeah.
those rums. Just something to have just relaxing in the night. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Somebody's playing Pokemon.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's nice.
Dustin, it looks like we got Torrent.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so this is a lot. Wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the positioning, just so you guys are aware of that, for whatever that matters. But
Wait, what? What's going on?
I sent some images.
Oh,
Just pictures of the runes and where they're placed on them.
yeah.
So you guys enter the smoking spirits, and it's far less lively this time of day, but there is still action around. Some people are eating breakfast and cleaning up. Some people are making plans for the day. You see a couple of people, a couple of dwarves in the corner with newspapers on top of the table, and they're going through them, and while they're drinking and eating and talking. And there's still a couple of people at the bar.
So I guess I'll lead the group to a nearby empty table and kind of raise my hand, letting the servers or the bartenders or whoever's taking orders and whatnot to let them know that hey, we're here and we're wanting to get some food.
Okay. You find some food easy enough, and after fighting down some bartenders. You get a very stout morning. It's kind of you get the groggy feeling, like nobody's really out to start conversation.
I asked one server if they offer rooms for the night and whatnot.
It takes him a second to register what you said after trying to make your food and everything. He's just kind of he's a little slow this morning. And rooms? No, we don't have any rooms.
Do you know any place that's pretty good, pretty decent for room?
Not in the keep. No. If you were to go outside the keep into the main cliff, Craig, you can probably find something there. There's like the shoot, it's Bert. What's that called? The touristy place where they stay. The pass through. Yeah, the pass through. That's one of the places outside. He kind of rubs his face a little bit.
All right, thank you, my man.
No problem.
So we seem to find where we need to stay at, and unfortunately, it's not here.
So, where would the closest one be?
Down in a place called the Pass Room, down in the main Cliff Crag area. So it looks like we're going to have to get out of the upper keep or wherever we are.
Okay,
Oh,
so what
man.
do you do?
Let's get out of here then.
Yeah, dude.
Well, let's go find our rooms. What about before we leave, I'll go to the bartender. Be like, excuse me. I heard you guys potentially talk last night about problems in the iron development around here?
He turns to you with his eyes half open. Yeah, they've had problems with supply, I think. Sorry.
That was a question to the barkeep.
No, sorry, I forgot to press my button there. He turns to you with his eyes half open and says, yeah, I've heard they've had some issues with the supply or something. I don't know, something about some kind of monster blocking the way or something. They kind of barred off the area.
Do you know who I could talk to that would know a more detail of the location and issues?
You can talk to Rosswater down below, I believe. Would be the best one. He's the one kind of in charge of everything. Well, on the floor. I mean, there's people above him, but he's the one that's actually down there most of the time. He's kind of a shorter dwarf. He's got really knotted gray hair. He's been there a long time.
What was his name again? Sorry.
Rosswater.
Rosswater. Okay, thank you. Sorry, it's a bar. A little loud.
Not
Okay.
a problem. It's
Thank
probably me. I can't brain this early in the day.
Is the barkeep a dwarf?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
It's kind of common around here, bar.
Yeah, I'm picking up on that.
Yeah, I'm actually more surprised they answered me. So let's just go and be happy.
I go ahead and drop off 6 gold coins for everyone's breakfast and a bit of tip. I'm assuming that's enough.
Yeah, the goblin, or I'm sorry, the dwarf brightens up at your spotting, your tipping there, and he starts to act more awake. Thank you, sir.
No problem. I've been here last 3 times, and it's been a nice, lovely time being here. It's definitely a place I will never forget. It's definitely one of my favorites so far. And I hope I can come back one day and drink at the fine establishment once more.
They will be happy to have you. Thank you very much for your patronage. And he scoops the money up and pours behind the bar. So yeah, so you guys have a headed. Are you leaving the Valor Keep?
Yeah. I think we're gonna start heading toward the pass room, wherever that may be, down below.
Yep.
I'm sure it should be simple to find.
As you guys leave, or at least turn to leave, you are met with one familiar face that you haven't seen for a minute, and that will be Thurslid, the assistant to Vongren. She's walked into the smoking spirits and looked around, and she sees your group and immediately walks over towards you.
Walk away. Run. Let's go.
Who
No,
is
I'm
it?
kidding. I'm kidding.
She comes up, Thurslid, the female dwarf who is the assistant to Vongren. She comes up to you guys and says, "Hello, hello, Pelinel. You've been requested at Vongren's office for a private meeting if you have time before you go.
All of us, or just me?
Just you for now."
Oh. Well, guys, you got like 5 minutes. If anything, I can just send you a message and see where you're at and just run up to you.
I think this is probably about the time where if Vorik were with us, he would be all like, "Okay, party chat. What do you think, DM?"
That sounds reasonable to me.
Wait, is Vork still not? Oh Jesus Christ! I just realized Vork is still not in here. What the hell?
Yeah, no, he's
He,
on board.
he pulled a Nugboar. It's fine.
Yeah, he
T-posing in
he
the
probably
background.
did.
He probably did.
Yeah, probably got home, fell asleep.
Here, I can roll a d8.
Yeah, go ahead and
There's
roll a D8 for us.
7 hours, I guess. That's how long they lasted, like an hour, right?
Yes,
Alright,
it's
there
between
we go.
1 and 8 hours. You rolled 7, so it's 7 hours, and then I guess the what are the limits of that spell again?
He can pick 3 people, and
Besides himself.
Yeah, besides himself. And I think it's like a mile or something, like the limit.
Okay, that won't be too far, I guess. This place looks like it's mostly just stacked up and down on top of each other, so 1 mile's plenty.
Okay, now who is he going to select for the spell, Edward, since you've initiated?
Vorik is gonna select Pel, Munson, and Alfred.
Okay. So Pelmunson and Alfred, you guys are connected with Vorik telepathically and can send each other thoughts at will.
Hey guys, this is our group chat.
All of a sudden, you just start hearing, draconic music, like battle music going on in my head. And I'm just subconsciously sending that out to you guys.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
This
everybody's here.
is kind of nice.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I guess at this point, Vorik would let Pel know to let the group know if he gets in a hot water and we need to come running.
Yeah. I mean, I know Vongren pretty good. Usually, like, he just wants to talk to me about stuff. Probably going to yell at me for not keeping track of that box a little bit better.
Should I tell him you're too busy?
Nah, I got time.
Right. Well, follow me. It shouldn't be long.
Alright.
Have fun.
See ya.
And she leads him down out the door first of the Smoking Spirits, and then down the street back towards what you know to be Vongren's office. While they're doing that, what are the rest of you guys going to do?
Guess we're gonna go to the pass rooms. Bottom.
All right. So the rest of you guys head down the main street toward the opposite the direction that Pel and Thurslid are walking. And as you walk down the main street that ends on one side in the chambers of the cog, walking the opposite direction, there are many streets and buildings that litter the inside of the Valor Keep. There are some freestanding and some that are hewn from the stone they sit upon and appear to be one solid piece. There are two larger structures that you pass. One is a large warehouse looking building that has doors that are bay-sized doors that have an area that faces a circular landing that has a set of 3 rail carts in it. Rail carts that have the ability to go down some tracks that are one small stone bridges that cross a gorge between the edge of this building and the walls of this inner workings. And there's small tunnels that the carts go down and out of through this area. Going past that, there's also a large building that you notice is surrounded by carvings of large dwarves that are holding up the dormant of the front entrance of the Cliffcraig Stacks. You know this due to the large sign that says Cliffcraig Stacks above the double-doored entrance. Past all this is just a large street that goes down to a large double-door entrance that is propped open, and as you walk through that entrance, you are looking down on a city that is about 5 or 6 stories below you from this point. And it's a sprawling circular city. When you look and kind of get your surroundings, you see the large face of one of the largest mountains in the Glitterfire Peak range. And below you is the city of Cliffcraig, a large, sprawling dwarven city, both in the mountain behind you and below you, and in front of you, that is dotted with many buildings and many workshops. Fires seem to be alight in many, many places, creating who knows how many craft. Most of them probably in the metal forgery sphere. While you guys see that and take that in, Hell, when you reach Vongren's office, you take a second as Thurslid halts you and then knocks on the door, opens it, and leans in a little, and then takes a step in. Hellenel is here to see you. And you hear somebody say something on the inside, but you can't make it out. Thurslid comes back out and opens the door wider, allowing you to step in.
I'll walk on in.
She closes the door behind you, and you are inside Vongren's interior office now. Hello, Pellinel. Thank you for coming on such short notice. And he takes his glasses off and puts them on the desk in front of him.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I feel like we haven't really had a chance to catch up since I've been here.
Well, I did not expect you to arrive in such a way, or working for Mr. Gliad, but then again, there is much I did not expect. How goes your travels?
Well, it could be worse. You know, that whole sacking asunder, that was a nasty state of affairs.
Yes, very. We're still establishing the cause and current status. Everything seems to be lost to us at this time.
You guys not been able to hear anything from it or anything?
No, my one contact has gone silent, probably for death or otherwise. Well, the main reason I called you here was to discuss those matters, actually, in greater detail. The happenings on the mission that you were doing for the secret piece. You mentioned some details that, such as the contents of the box and who went to, but I expect you have more leave to feel more at ease in a more private company, to remember such details that might have been left out or lost, no matter how small. Who specifically received the package? Do you recall?
Like who had it before Tosvavas?
Yes. How did it get to be in the care of this individual?
Helionaka had it.
Uh,
Helionaka was sent by Miss fucking Sahilin? Sahilin?
Sayla Mysteria?
I think so. I'll just have the first name spelled out.
Okay, so the priestess was sent with this package.
Yeah, Helionaka was sent by that Salin to what the fuck did I write here? I can't read. To what the fuck? I don't know. But I know Helionaka was sent by Salin to I don't I put to scratch Tosvavas.
She was sent there to scratch Toast Paws.
I guess. I wrote that down.
Most interesting. You see him like
Yeah.
stifling laughter.
Now this is the shitty part about writing all my notes on post-it notes.
Um, did you take note of anything important when you saw the delivery happen? Did you go inside the den? Were you able to do that?
We kind of got like tricked, sent to the den, but yeah, we were there whenever he opened it.
I see. Was there anything important in the den that you saw? I don't know who has been inside the den and been well, frankly, on our council to talk about it.
So this is me, Matt, the player. Did we know that Tosvavas was a Rakshasa?
Um,
I think we talked
one
about
of
it.
you did. I think one of you did. I don't know if it's been discussed openly though. I don't believe so.
Oh no, because I remember asking something about the hands that he had, but I don't remember because that's been like fucking forever ago anyway. Um,
We'll say that I think at least you three do. Pellinelli, Elibor, and Vorg. I think you three have established that.
okay. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Tosvavas himself is a Rakshasa.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. We did establish that.
I'm not sure if you already knew about that or anything, but he seemed like a pretty powerful individual himself.
It's not very surprising, but very important information all the same. Was there anything else that might have been important like that? Any details of the inside, what they did, who's on their staff, anybody important, or anybody we might know? Any important artifacts you saw, maps, instructions, papers, anything like that?
Mm, one of the only people that he had working in there that we really knew about was Winter Moon. We ended up saving her while we were leaving Sunder the other night.
I'm not familiar with her. Should I know her or be aware of her in any way?
I'm not sure. She just seemed like an agent of Tosvavas, to be honest. She seemed to know a lot about my friend Vort.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
Do you have any insight on how that package specifically and its contents may have been involved in this?
Mm. The thing about the horn and the scroll kind of like makes sense because we seen a big minotaur like right before we left. He had just runes all over his horns. And I mean the scroll, you can use scrolls to do just about anything magically. The thing that gets me is the metallic fork. Like that was the only other thing in the box. What do you need a fork for?
Hmm.
It didn't look like an eating fork, did it?
No, it did not. It was a two-pronged fork.
Yeah, it was a weird two-pronged fork. Like you didn't eat from it.
And you say there was a ruined horn.
A ruined horn.
Do you recall any of the inscribings on the horn?
Can I roll history?
You certainly may.
12. I have no bonus to intelligence, so it's just 12.
12. You don't recall exactly. It was a very stressful moment for you.
Yeah, it was, I kind of thought I was gonna die, so I didn't really get the chance to look at everything inside of it.
Did they look at all like Lady Bainbreeze's situation?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Hmm. All right.
I'll ask the group chat, but fucking Bork's not even here.
Lol.
Hey,
I'm
Bork,
just glad it's not me for once. I'll be for it.
You remember what them runes look like?
I do, buddy. I do.
What do they look like? Did they look like Lady Bainbreezes?
That's exactly what they look like. Roll with it. Orc would not say any of those words. Hmm.
Why did that?
DM, I'm gonna have to sidebar with you on this one. I'm not sure how to take care of this because
Mm-hmm.
he actually might have some information that's impertinent to the party.
I'll tell you what. On Vorik's behalf, can you roll me a d20 out of 4?
I will.
Just FYI, my headset's about to die, so if I suddenly stop talking, that's why.
Rip.
Did that pop up?
It did not.
Oh! I got a natural lucky.
Okay.
No. This isn't okay. Dustin, you should know that I did it from beyond and got a 4 first.
Okay.
Hey,
So
for
do
it, I didn't
with
say
that information what you will.
Okay. Yeah, Vorik doesn't know. He was very focused on not that.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to sound useless right now, but it was kind of a scary situation.
Vongren stands up from where he was behind his desk. What kind of horn was it?
Did it look like a bullhorn or like a staghorn? Pretty sure it was like a bullhorn, wasn't it?
It was the bullhorn, yes.
Yeah, it was a bullhorn.
Was this off the what's it called, the Minotaur? Like, is he asking the wound of the Minotaur?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was it just looked like a bullhorn to me.
I want to roll my version of a history check to see if I remember what it was, if I was there.
Well, yeah, because Pel just hit the group chat. Okay, yeah, go ahead. You can roll history on
And not one, so you know. I'm just not going to use that die.
that. So, yeah, no. As you tell Vongren that it looks like a bull's horn, you see him, like, visibly take a breath and then exhale. Okay, well, I appreciate any and all that information that you have. Sometimes the smallest details are those that turn out to be the most important.
Hey, if whenever I get back up with my friends, if they end up remembering anything, I'll just send you a message and let you know. I really feel like I let you down a little bit here and that.
It's not directly your fault. I appreciate your working with us. I do have something beyond that. I would like to inquire again, and I know what you said before. But do you have any desire now, with these changing events, to take up a role as a peacekeeper? We would need more help than ever.
You know, normally, like, if the sacking asunder didn't happen just the other day, I probably would still just say no, but I don't know. Felt like a calling, kind of, myself to do better. So,
Answer the call, Pell.
I don't know how to, like, is there like a little ceremony? Do I just say yes?
It would be an entire undertaking that would require some training and then placement in our roles after a debriefing.
Ah, kind of like in this weird magical contract with Gurky right now.
I see.
Um, I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to be in it, but I definitely want to be a member of this secret peace. That sounds pretty neat.
Well, then perhaps you can continue on in your current status. But we could keep each other up to date with any information or tasks that would be helpful with you working even externally from us. However, in the future, this position offer still stands to you and would only be offered to you due to your past experience with us and my faith in you. It would not extend to anybody in your other group, should they be curious or hear about your inquiry.
I get that. I mean, to be honest, I've only met most of them, like, not that long ago. They're pretty good people, but
Understood.
some of them literally would have died without me.
Hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm exaggerating a little bit.
If you are keeping
Orc
people
would have
safe
been a lot
and
uglier.
doing some good in the world, then you are doing as good as we can hope for. Thank you again, Falonkort, and we'll be in touch. And he gestures towards the door.
Adios. Peace out, muchacho. Phil walks out.
And as Pell leaves the office of Thunder and Wellstone, that's what we'll pick up next time.
Woo! And maybe, for once, we'll have the whole fucking party in here and not sleeping.
Hey,
Got it.
Yeah, okay, you Uncle.
I would say that is a rare occurrence, but sadly, I think that might be the second or even third time that I've fallen asleep playing.
Well, to be honest, last
It
session,
never happens when I have coffee. Coffee is my secret weapon. I didn't have coffee last Friday either.
you also drink a lot.
I had like 3 beers.
And no food for 2 days.
Alright, that would do it. That would fucking do it.
That's
I mean-
economically drinking.
We won't talk about what I drink when I start drinking.
Hey, Anthony, I'm sitting here like, you know those chocolate-covered espresso beans you can get from the candy store at the mall? I'm sitting here eating those right now.
Or you're eating the espresso bean with chocolate on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those, dude.
Cheetah
Those
beans.
Before my headset dies, it was a good session.
Yeah, dude.
So.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey, next time, play around with your voice changers. Use your voice changer.
Yeah, I know. I had it off this session due to basically the premium ran out, and I just due to not having income right now, I had to not renew it. So that's why my voice.
How's that going, by the way?
Everything other than a degree or 20 years of goddamn experience, and they consider it an entry level job.